Hello ladies and gentlemen and those in between, welcome back to my channel. Everett here, and today we're going to talk about how to deal with unrequited love. If this is your first time to visit my channel, welcome to Friends BL World. But if you've been following this channel, you've already known that this channel is designed for my love and passion for BL, which stands for boys love, and anything that's related to it. And likewise, this channel is also designed for anything associated with LGBTQ plus issues. But normally I review BL series, and most of them are Filipino BL series, and you can check out my playlist and you can find several reviews on my favorite Filipino BL series. And I actually received good feedbacks and comments along the lines of my videos are informative, educational, and motivational. So for this reason, I decided to make informative videos, but at the same time are still related to boys love. So for the very first motivational video, we're going to talk about how to deal with unrequited love featuring Swap Test BL series. Before we talk about our main topic, which is unrequited love or anything that's related to it, let me give you a little bit of information about Swap Test BL series. This BL series is produced by the Powerhouse Ensemble, and there are a total of 15 episodes for this series, and this is directed by Joey Perez. Swap Test BL series is a story of a nurse, Gabriel, who struggles hard after breaking up with his girlfriend, and a college student, Giorgio, who struggles along with his transgender mom in the middle of this coronavirus pandemic in the Philippines. Both of them live next door, and at first Gabriel hates Giorgio, assuming that Giorgio steals his car key, when in fact Giorgio just tries to give the key back to Gabriel because he unconsciously drops it to the ground. As days go by, both of them have a rough time dealing with one another, but one day when Gabriel gets drunk and he throws up in front of his dorm room, Giorgio helps to take him to his room to give him a sponge bath, and all of a sudden everything changes, which results in their colorful love story. Relationships are the most beautiful thing we can ever experience, especially when the person we love feels the same way. Unfortunately, it doesn't always happen the way we want. Unrequited love is one of the worst things we can ever experience when falling in love. Swap Test BL series tackles unrequited love, and in the series, Achilles, who is Gabriel's best friend, is abnormally obsessively in love with Gabriel to a point where he's all willing to do everything in order to ruin the relationship of Gabriel and Giorgio. So, in this connection, I would like to talk about 10 truthful signs of unrequited love and how to deal with it. Relationships are the most beautiful thing you can experience, especially when the person you love feels the same way. Unfortunately, it doesn't always happen the way we want. Unrequited love is one of the worst things you can experience when falling in love. Here are 10 truthful signs of unrequited love. 1. You're always anxious. Whether you're with them or apart, you're always anxious. Normally, this is a red flag showing that something isn't quite right in the relationship. 2. You overlook their flaws. When you're infatuated with someone, there's this tendency to overlook their flaws. While nobody's perfect, someone that keeps making excuses for every time they hurt you can be a sign of unrequited love. 3. They flirt with others. This alone is concrete evidence that they don't feel the same way. They shouldn't be flirting with others if they're interested in you, especially knowing that it will sabotage their chances of a real relationship with you. 4. You feel alone. In a relationship, you shouldn't feel alone, but you should feel partnership and appreciation. If this is how you feel, this might be unrequited love. 5. You keep giving. Relationships are all about give and take. So if you do most of all the giving while they do the taking, this just isn't a relationship at all. 6. You do more work. Actions speak louder than words, so you can tell that someone loves you even in the simplest ways. Effort isn't always about grand gestures, but if they refuse to do even the smallest gestures, they don't love you back at all. 7. Something always feels wrong. You know it's unrequited love when someone constantly feels wrong. In a healthy and balanced relationship, you feel safe even when things go wrong. When one is unloved, everything feels messy and draining. 8. The blame is on you. When someone doesn't love you enough or at all, they can twist the truth for their selfish benefit. This is both toxic and manipulative. 9. They ignore you. Time is the most important thing in a relationship, and with unrequited love, they can ignore you for hours without even a single message as to how you're doing. 10. Physical intimacy is lacking. You know, something is lacking when there's no intimacy at all. Relationships are all about passion and intimacy. So when you don't feel the love when you physically connect, this is unrequited love. Sometimes Cupid flies in where he's not wanted, shoots his arrow without looking, and as a result misses and hits the wrong person. And so an unrequited love begins. Unrequited love is a more common thing when we are a teenager, a period when you form your thoughts about yourself, your identity, and about the image of your ideal partner. However, even otherwise mature adults find unrequited love to be so intensely painful. When you hold strong feelings towards someone who doesn't return them, you have been rejected. Rejection always hurts, but it stings even more in a romantic context. So, how can we cope with our feelings of unrequited love? Here are a few ways to deal with unrequited love. 1. Say goodbye to all illusions. Try to set some criteria or terms. For example, if the person you like doesn't show signs that they are interested in you, it's time to come to terms with the fact that your crush probably does not feel the same way about you. 2. Try to know them better. Nobody's perfect. We all know this statement, but when you are in love, it becomes more and more difficult to agree with that fact. If you do not know your crush well, you always tend to idealize and romanticize him or her. You can't believe that such a great person may have drawbacks, bad habits, negative attitudes towards something important to you, and so on. Try to know your crush better, and you may learn something about him or her that will break your obsession. 3. Isolate. Try to isolate a bit. Do not check his or her Facebook page every second or minute. Do not ask your common friends about him or her. Do not visit the places he or she visits every day. If your crush is out of sight, inevitably they will be out of your mind. 4. Distract yourself. To get your mind off this person, find something that brings you pleasure and do this as often as possible. When you have free time on your hands, indulge in your hobbies. Even better, if your hobby involves going outside or sports, which gives your body endorphins that give you same effect as love does. 5. Go on a date. Since the feelings are not mutual, staying at home, moping around isn't good. So get out there and try to live your life in full. Ask a friend or a colleague you'd like to get to know better out for a coffee or dinner to a new restaurant you've been meaning to try. 6. Love yourself. Love yourself no matter what they say. Love your personality, respect yourself, accept yourself as you are. This is the best medicine for all mental troubles.
Hello everyone, my name's Stephen, I'm from Australia. I'm a follower of Everett's page on YouTube, and he's asked me to say a few words about unrequited love. So what I'm telling you is from my heart, from my experiences, one experience, 20-year relationship. Whenever it was reviewing swap test, he touched on unrequited love and had a checklist of 10 things, and I felt like I was doing a review on Everett because it was like anxious, you know. They flirt, I felt alone, you know. I'm always giving. It felt like something wasn't wrong. It was tick, 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 just like Everett does it in his reviews. And that's how I felt. It really touched home. When I was in the relationship, I guess I turned a blind eye to a lot of things because I didn't feel that I was worthy enough. I was made feel that way too. It was sort of ground into me that, you know, you're not the best looking, you don't have a great body, you're not wealthy. You know, I felt that I couldn't do any better, so I had to do whatever I could to keep that relationship going, which is pretty toxic on both sides. I don't know. I think my ex actually did love me in his way, but I also know now I was just there until something better came along. And God, there was lots of samples along the way. I'm old-fashioned, and I believe if you love somebody and you're with them, you're faithful to that person regardless. But I found out after we had split up that I was the only one that felt that way. The other person didn't, for sure. And it opened my eyes completely to how I let myself be manipulated because I was frightened not to have someone to love. When my ex and I first met, I had a fairly high profile job. I was far more confident. I had a house in Brisbane. But over the years, everything turned around, and my ex was a good manipulator, and he ended up being the one with the better job, and he wanted me to stay home and be the house husband, and sort of out of sight, out of mind from most people, I guess. There's things I want to say, I just don't know how to get them out.
I personally understand how hard it is to be in love with someone who doesn't love you back. It is emotionally torturing, and it's not easy to overcome it. In my case, the last time I fell in one-sided love with someone was 2 years ago, and I remember it was really hard. I really had a hard time dealing with it because first off, we were colleagues and we were also very good friends. But in an unexpected twist of events, I fell in love with him. I tried hard to get my mind off of him, but I struggled a lot because I could see him at work every day. Can you imagine that? And what I did was I would just stay in my cubicle in order to avoid him, but each time our paths crossed at a bathroom, it was really awkward because all of a sudden we just got disconnected, maybe because he had noticed that I was trying to avoid him, and that gave him hints that I was into him, so everything between the two of us just changed in an instant. And I will never forget that experience because I went through a lot of heartaches. I know myself really well because when it comes down to moving on, it's easy for me to do that because I'm the type of personality who can move on quickly, especially when I understand that the relationship is going nowhere, or when I am 100% sure that there's no assurance in the relationship. But at that time, I felt this excruciating pain that no matter how hard I tried to get my mind off of him, it was just a total mess. And I remember going to this river near my former workplace, and I would look up to the sky and I would cry for hours. It was really difficult, and it took me more than a year to get over him. Anyway, that's my personal story about unrequited love. And if you guys have any experience in unrequited love, I would love you to share it with us in the comment section below, and I'm looking forward to reading your stories. Anyway, that's pretty much it for this video. Thank you so much for watching this video. And if you like this video, hit that like button, hit subscribe, and hit that notification bell so that you can be notified when my next video comes out. Peace outie! So, how can we cope? How can we cope with our feelings of unrequited love? Here are a few ways to deal with our